To install Windows 98 PC emulator under PCem, we need a couple of resources that I can make it a little bit more easier. And I've given all your links to make this a little more easier to install Windows 98 on PC emulator. First of all, you would need to download PCem version 17, and you would need the PCem ROMs. Copy all the files onto it. Then you want to right click on it, go copy, and after that go to the PCM and go to your ROMs file, and then you want to paste it, and then everything's all been pasted, then you'd be able to install Windows 98 easily. Then you can open up the emulator. So after that, I've got the Intel chipsets 3.20.1008, and I got DirectX 8, which I think is better for gaming, and I got the Emulation Windows 9X 29, and I got Microsoft Windows 98 2nd Edition ISO that I'm going to mount in next. So after you have copied the ROMs file onto PCem, we open up the PC emulator, click New, and type in Windows 98, hit OK, and then you want to configure the machine, and I'm going to set the Intel Pentium II slot 1GB GA686BX, and I'm going for Pentium 450, which is the higher CPU that I'll ever use. After that, you want to go to device and you want to set it to Voodoo 3DFX Voodoo 3000. Click on that, and I'm going to set the speed to fast VLB/PCI. Tick Voodoo Graphics. Then you want to select the frame buffer memory size to 4 megabytes, and again for texture memory size to 4 megabytes. Hit OK, and then after that you want to go to devices and you want to set the Sound Blaster to PCI 128, and then you want to go to hard drive, floppy drive, and then you want to set this to 3.5 inch 1.44 meters. And after that, I'm going to set the mouse button to serial to Intel Microsoft IntelliMouse PS/2, and I'm going to set the hard drive to dynamic size VHD, and I'm going to go to new file, and then type Win98, and I'm going to go for 15 gigabytes, which will install much faster. If you add more gigabytes, the formatting can take a very long time, so I would recommend that I go for 10 gigabytes, which will install much quicker. After that, click Save, and I'm going to set the size MB to 10,000, which is 10 gigabytes. Hit OK, and the drive has been created now. So after that, you want to click OK, and then you want to start up the emulator. Updating ESCD, building DMI pool, verifying DMI pool data, update success, and then you get disk boot failure. So you want to load the image, and then you want to go Windows 98 2nd Edition and load the image in. After that, you want to do a hard reset, and then I'm going to put this in full screen. I'm going to press delete to enter setup. I'm going to have to reset the emulator again, so I'm going to hit delete, and then we want to check the standard CMOS setup, which is okay, and I'm going to leave the drive A, and then I'm going to go to boot sequence, and I'm going to set this to CD-ROM, and then it'll install, so the boot sequence will recognize the CD-ROM and then install on the hard drive. Boot up floppy sequence, which I don't need, and then I'm going to go to PSA. Now Windows 98 comes with plug and play installed, so I'm going to hit yes for this, and then I'm going to go to integrated peripherals, and then I'm going to look at this. Do we need the onboard floppy disk? So no, I'm going to set that, leave it disabled. We'll disable all of those now because I don't really need these. And I don't need the parallel port for it. And after that, you want to go save and exit setup. Hit yes, Y for yes to save, and then hit enter. And then it's booting up again. Updating ESC SCD, and then I'm going to put this from CD-ROM, and I'm going to start Windows 98 setup from CD-ROM. And after that, welcome to the Windows 98 setup. The setup program prepares Windows 98 to run on your computer, so we're going to hit enter to continue. Configure unallocated disk space, which is recommended. I'm going to say yes to enable large disk support. And then Windows 98 will restart your computer now, so we're going to press enter. And then again, we're going to boot from CD-ROM and start Windows 98 setup from CD-ROM. And then it's formatting drive C. So this is going to take a while to get the format C drive formatted. So I will see you after it's finished formatting the drive C. Okay, so it's finished formatting. So we're going to continue. We're going to press enter. And then it's doing the Microsoft scan disk, checking the following areas of drive C. And then it's waiting while setup initializes. So now we're on the Windows 98 setup. So click continue. And then the setup is preparing the Windows 98 setup wizard, which will guide you for the rest of the setup process. Then I'm going to select the directory, and I'm going to select hard drive for Windows. And then it's checking for installed components. And then it's checking for available disk space. After that, we're going to go custom, click next, and I'm going to tick desktop themes. I'm going to retick the accessories, tick multi-language support, and I'm going to go multimedia, and I'm going to tick sample sounds, which I'm going to do. And then I'm going to untick system tools and then retick it again. And then we're going to go next. And I'm going to set the computer name to PC Emulator. And I'm going to call the description which I don't want to, so I don't need to add the description. And I'm going to set the keyboard layout to British. And again, set regional settings to British. Click OK, click UK, and then it's going to start copying files, so click next. And then we'll just have to relax while Windows 98 installs on your computer. Okay, so after the setup has finished, I'm going to restart the computer, and we're rebooting it up now. And then we're going to press Del to go back to the setup, and then we're going to set boot sequence to C only. Save and exit setup, yes. And then we reboot the PC. Now after we do reboot the PC, all we want to do now, for those, if you are to run PCs with 4.0 GHz and above, then you would use the higher Intel CPU driver. And for those who still have less than, with PCs running 3.0 GHz, then I would use the lower Intel Pentium II, like 266 or 300 or 350. And after that, we're going to go back to setup now. It's taking a while when you install this on the Intel Pentium II 450, you see. But I'm sure one day in the future, if they release version 18 of PC Emulator, and then we're going to type in the name PCem tutorial, and I meant PCem tutorial. Click next. I accept the agreement, so we'll tick that, and then we're going to go next, and then we have to enter in the product key. And Windows 98 has saved all the information, so we're going to click on finish, and then it's setting up hardware, and then Windows 98 is now initializing its driver database, which could take time. And Windows 98 is now detecting the non-plug-and-play hardware on your computer. So this may take a few minutes and may cause your computer to stop working. If the progress indicator stops for a long time and there is no disk activity, then please restart your computer. And now we're going to click on Restart Now. And Windows 98 is now setting up your hard drive and any plug-and-play devices that you may have. And then we're going to check the time zone. So we're going to set this to Greenwich Mean Time. Click Apply and then click OK. And then it's setting up Control Panel. Windows 98 is now setting up Control Panel. And then it's setting up programs on the Start menu. And then it's going through everything, Windows Help, and then MS-DOS program settings, and then it's tuning up application start and doing system configuration before it finishes installing. Okay, so it took a while to do everything. It took a while to set up everything on the computer, and now it's updating system settings, and once the system settings has all been updated, we're all ready to go. We just have to do the final bits to get this started. Next thing I want to show you is I will show you how to copy the Windows 98 setup files onto the Windows 98 hard drive. And once I've copied all the files that is required for the Windows 98 setup files on the emulator, I would show you how to install it. And after that, I would install the Voodoo 3000 Graphics, Sound Blaster 128 PCI, and the Intel chipsets, and install DirectX 8 and then benchmarks, and after that we will start to get this game running and going. And then after that this would be the tutorial concluded, and I will test out one of the games that will work for Windows 98 PC emulator. And after that, I've done the Windows 98 PC emulator tutorial. I'll be doing Windows Millennium Edition setup on PC emulator and Windows XP for this. And then I would do that on 86 box as well for those who want to run it on 86 box. Okay, so that's Windows 98 now being all set up. So now for the final stages of setup, we're going to just have to install the chipsets and the graphics card and DirectX 8 and the Sound Blaster, and then we're all ready to show you, and then we will complete the tutorial. And now we're coming to, do I need the password? No thank you, I don't really need the password. And then it says unknown device found, and it's searching for a plug and play monitor, which I'm going to install. You would just have to click next every time you go through these steps. And then it's searching for a new driver for this device. This is taking a while. And I hope I do find the plug and play device on this setup after I finish this setup. Okay, it's just been taking a while. So then it's just finished plug and play, installing the plug and play monitor, and it's just finishing setup now. So now we've got Windows 98 setup all done. The next step we're going to do is housekeeping. Okay. There's the window. Well, this is what you'll get whenever you installed Windows 98 the first time. You would get the Welcome to Windows 98 screen. So we're going to click on Close, and then we're going to shut down. Okay, so we need to open up the Windows 98 10 gigabytes on this, and after that we're going to right click on the mouse and click new and type in the setup files. Turn off the caps, and then I done it now, and then we're going to downloads, and then we're going to copy everything on this downloads Windows 98 setup files. So hit copy, and then we're going to go to setup files, and then we're going to paste all the files onto it, and then after that it's all been copied, we'll have to eject it. Okay, so now we're back onto Windows 98 setup. Now, next thing you want to do is to right click on this, and I'm going to label it to Windows 98. Hit apply, and now you got it now. So now I've named it as Windows 98 setup, and then we're going to go to setup files, and then we're going to install the Intel chipsets now. And Intel chipsets setup installation has begun. Click next. Yes. If we install the Intel chipsets, it will help to run these games work better now for when you're running Windows 98, because Windows 98 requires the Intel chipsets to be installed if you're running the Pentium II or MMX files. And then it would help to get the Intel chipsets pre-installed, but with Windows Millennium Edition or Windows XP, you don't need the Intel chipsets, as they already come with it pre-installed along with the Voodoo free, along with the Blaster PCI 128, which I think could be pre-installed. But of course, we're now we're installing the Intel chipsets. And then when it starts to reboot the PC, it would recognize these hardwares founded from the Intel chipsets that has been recognized for Windows 98. And then it has found new software and is locating the software for these. And then it's found PCI IDE controller, which is the Intel PCI Busmaster controller. And then it's found PCI bridge, and it's installing the power management controller. And then it's found the next unknown device, which is the primary IDE controller. And then another unknown device, which is found the secondary IDE controller. And now to finish the setup, do you want to restart? So we're going to, yes, we do have to restart the computer to finish the setup of the Intel chipsets now. And then it's detecting primary IDE master. Yes, it has. Verifying DMI pool data. And now we're going back, we're rebooting the computer now, and we're almost finished the Intel chipset setup now. And then for the next step, it's going to allow me to install the... now we've got the Intel chipsets installed. The next thing you want to do is to right click on my computer, go to Device Manager, and then you want to go to Disk Drive, and go to Generate IDE Controller, disk type. So we're going to tick DMA, hit OK to continue, close, and then we'll restart the computer. And now we've restarted the Windows 98 computer setup. Next thing you want to go to is My Computer, go to Windows 98, and then go to Setup Files, and then we're going to install the Sound Blaster PCI next, which we're going to do. So it's just going to take a while setup is extracting the files. And then the Sound Blaster PCI as installer has just begun. The next step, do you agree with the license? Yes. And then click next. And then the setup is preparing the Sound Blaster PCI, and then it's uncompressing P128 main.lib, and then it's uncompressing P128 W9X.lib. So while it still says please wait, and then it's launching the Sound Blaster PCI drivers only website update. And there it's found the PCI multimedia audio device, which has found the Creative Sound Blaster PCI 128. And it's found an unknown device, which is a Creative Sound Blaster Legacy. And then it's initializing the registration program. And then it's found the... No, thank you. I don't want to register for it. Don't remind me to register. And then we're going to go back to, we'll finish the setup. So yes, we'll restart the computer. And then hopefully it'll have the Sound Blaster pre-installed now. And now for the next step, we're going to install the Voodoo Free 3000 graphics card. And now we've got the Sound Blaster 9 pre-installed. So the next step we're going to do is install the Voodoo 3 graphics card. And it's configuring Windows installer. And it's preparing to install. Next, I accept the license agreement and then click install. And there it's copying new files now. Creating shortcuts. And then it's copying files. Now this comes with DirectX 8.6 pre-installed already. So click finish and then yes, hit yes to restart. And then we're going to restart the computer again. And I also need to put in the overclock for the Voodoo 3000 graphics once it's been installed. So it's just going to take a while to reboot now. Verifying DMI pool data. And then we're going back onto Windows 98 setup. And now we've got the Voodoo Free 3000 graphics card now installed. So I'm going to shut down the computer. Okay, so now we're back onto Windows 98 again. And I've just copied it, go to setup files, and I've added the overclock. We'll enable overclocking next. And after this, we're going to go to 3DFX, and then we'll open up 3DFX, and then we're going to go to 3DFX overclock, the VINC6 disabled. We'll tick OpenGL. Say if I wanted to play 3D games, and I'm going to tick Direct 3D, especially for playing Direct 3D games to make it run more stable. And after that, click Apply, and then click OK. And then we're going to install DirectX 8 now, which I think is better and recommended for Windows 98. So we're going to click on Install. And we're going to install DirectX 8 now on the Windows 98 emulator. So it's searching for updated DirectX runtime components and updating as necessary, as this may take a few minutes. So now DirectX needs to restart the machine so that DirectX 8 can be properly installed for games that can run up to 2002 to work properly. And then it's building driver information database now. And then it's updating system settings now. And here we are now. Next thing I want to do is, say if I want to use the internet, I'm going to set up my internet connection manually. Connect for a local network. Next. No thank you, I don't want to set it up. And then the Windows 98 setup's been finished. So we're going to go to maintain your computer, go express. When I finish, I'm going to perform the first maintenance on the computer. Okay, so now we're going to go to my computer once again. Go to Windows 98, set up files, and then that last thing we want to install is the benchmarks, the 3D benchmarks. So yes, and it's reading contents on package. And it's extracting. And there's the 3D Mark 2000 setup, which is now preparing the installed shield. And there it's detected DirectX 7, so we're just installing 3D Mark 2000. And then purchase later. And there you go, you've now successfully installed the 3D Mark. So we're going to go 3D Mark 2000, which is right here. And then we're going to test out one of the games. So we're going to run new custom benchmark, and then we're going to go demo mode. Use optimal resolution. Now loading, please wait. And it's good that all the 3D games are working perfectly now on Windows 98, so I really hope you do find this tutorial very useful. So we'll press escape. Demo aborted now, so I hope this tutorial is very useful. So if you have any questions, please leave your comments below, and don't forget to like your videos and subscribe to my channel, and please hit the notification bell. Goodbye.